Good morning and welcome. We're going to talk about purpose again today. It's been our theme for the entire month of December, and it's the perfect way to move toward the new year, right? With purpose. Today, the purpose of light is going to be our focus. And why would that be? Well, if you haven't noticed, there seem to be a lot of celebrations of light going on. No matter what faith path you have, no matter what culture or tradition you might be celebrating right now, or maybe you just love this time of year because of the twinkly lights, there are plenty of them. And what's really great about that is that light is in every single one. Of course it is, because a spiritual truth of all life is that light is at the center of it. So no matter what you're celebrating or how, this is a perfect opportunity to recognize that light is in everything. So that's what we're going to do today. You could say that what light is plus what light does equals the purpose of light. And you could add that light uses every one of us to achieve that purpose. What light is, what it does, equals the purpose of light, and it uses us to achieve that purpose. Pretty awesome. Okay, so what is light? Well, you know me, I like to start with the dictionary, and of course, I cherry pick the ideas that fit my spiritual parameters. I have every right. And so I did that, and I found a couple that were really sweet. How about this? Light is the natural agent that stimulates sight and makes things visible. Wow! It stimulates sight. It makes things visible. Of course, illumination, shining, understanding, enlightenment, spiritual illumination, brightness, and this one, to come upon or discover. These are all qualities of light in the dictionary. So let's look at a spiritual definition of light. This one comes from Ernest Holmes. He wrote a little book called A Dictionary of New Thought Terms to help us understand metaphysics as we study them. And about the inner light, here's what he said. Light stands for the radiation of pure spirit, casting its ray through man by incarnation. That's taking form. Through me and you, by taking form, light is radiated. There is absolute light as well as perfect life at the center of everyone's being. Wow. So that means it's already there to shine by means of you and me. So, interestingly enough, the Society of Friends, the Quakers, as some of us refer to them from the periphery, they've been using this term inner light since the 17th century. It is a core part of the theme and the way that they practice spiritually. They're very mystical in their communion with Spirit. They say that this inner light is the direct awareness of God, God in every man. And that the inner light, never separated from God, is always wherever God is, wrapped therein. So we could go on all day, of course, and remember this, light is a quality of spirit, and therefore it is infinite. So what would happen is we would run out of day before we ran out of things that we could say about light in spirit. So we will leave that to someone else who has more time. We said that we wanted to look also at what light does. We want to look at the purpose of light, and we want to look at how it uses us to accomplish that purpose. So what does light do? Well, you know, like I said, even though I cherry-picked, the list of qualities of light is still so long. We'll just never get there unless we narrow it down a little bit. So I did. I narrowed it down to 4 qualities of light, which are easy to remember and very useful for us today. The first one is, guess what? Light does what? Any person, no matter what language they speak, as long as they have grown enough to be able to identify it, can answer this question. Light shines. Okay, so light shines. That's number one. What is the second thing? When light shines, it illumines, right? It actually shines its light on something which becomes illuminated. Okay. And then what happens? Something is revealed. It reveals. So it shines, it illumines, and it reveals. And then, this is where I just go for a spiritual interpretation, it makes something real. It shines, it illumines, it reveals, and it makes real. So let's do that one more time. Light shines, no problem, I got that. It illumines, okay, it literally casts light on something so we can see it better, okay, and in the process it then reveals more of that thing than we could see before. Are you following me? Okay, and then it makes it real. How is it that it makes it real? It makes it real because once something is known, it's real. When it was unknown to us, it was unreal to us. But once it is known forever. It is real. We so often quote Ernest Holmes and say that nature waits upon man's discovery. And that is, in the beginning of the textbook, the greatest discovery of all, which we must make for ourselves. Once something is revealed to us, it's real. We discover laws and principles. We discover people we never knew when we're instant friends. We discover all kinds of things that have been there all along, but until they were revealed to us, they weren't real. But once they are real. Wow, that's profound. So here are some other things that light does that I'm sure you're aware of. Light dissipates things, like darkness, revealing light, like confusion, revealing clarity, like disharmony, revealing unity. And we could go on and on and on. Like heaviness, revealing lightness. Light dissipates some apparent darkness or heaviness or not knowing and replaces it with the lightness and the clarity and the knowledge, the understanding. And it changes our experience of that thing. That is what the light of truth does all the time. So here's another important thing to know about light. This is a spiritual truth. Guess what? Light has no opposite. Light has no opponent. Light has no opposing power. Darkness is not a thing. Once we understand this, then that seeming battle between good and evil is transcended by that understanding. And we recognize that because there's only one power, there cannot be such a battle. What a relief! Also, whenever we bring light into a situation, we dispel darkness or misunderstanding. When we let that light that we're discovering is within us shine outward into any situation, we dispel darkness. When we realize that this light is already within me and you and everyone and everything, guess what? Darkness has no home. How about that? And when the omnipresence of light is known by all, darkness will be not necessary. It will no longer be necessary. It's an idea. It is not a thing. Which brings me to this. How are we to be used to achieve this purpose? How are we to be used? We opened with Ricky Byers' song called Celebrate, saying, there is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if you know it. Right? And in a few minutes, we're going to sing another one by Donna Michael that says, I am a light in this world. You are a light in this world. We are a light in this world. I love this time of year, and I love singing those songs because something in me, I get goosebumps talking about it, something in me says, yes, I know that. I believe it. I feel it. And when we do, oh, the things that we can reveal and make real. So we agreed, excuse me, in the beginning that what light is plus what light does equals the purpose of light, and that light uses us in the achievement of that purpose. And then we said that one of the things that light does is to shine, and then to illumine, and then to reveal, and then to make real. So, when we take the time to acknowledge that spiritual light, that inner light within us, and of course in others, and when we acknowledge it within us, we are doing what we were made to do. We are bringing light into this world. We are shining. We are illuminating. We are revealing, and we are making real more of the magnificence which is possible for every one of us, because in truth, it's who we are. We've just had to discover it for ourselves. So consider this as you move through this season of light and look around. Imagine that every twinkling light you see is a reminder of the light in you and the light in everyone else. You live in a world of light. How will you shine this season? How will you illuminate and what this season? How will you reveal and what will you reveal this season? What will you make real this season? And even more importantly, because remember, we are going with purpose into the new year, what will you take with you as you step across that threshold into a new year? This is the built-in lantern that is the light of Spirit itself in you. So why not let it shine?